It's time for the Heroes Lounge Mega Monday Matchup!
Woo!
Joining me again this week, it's Aviater. Welcome.
Hello there, everybody. Good evening. Good evening, Kharis. Again, it's a regular Monday date this is becoming.
And, don't get too serious. Yeah, no,
Go back to dinner first.
I've heard you've already got yourself a bottle of wine. But that's not what we're here for. We are here for the Division 4 matchup between the teams with the Twitch emotes, HandsUp, and Team BabyRage. Discuss.
Well, HandsUp is clearly an emote with, it's the good old Gachi-gasm with HandsUp, and then you've got Team BabyMage. So, yeah, whichever one's going to the hardest here.
Yeah, I mean, both of those are going to be. They obviously have a certain sense of Twitch enthusiasm to have those kind of emotes as their teams. I mean, we saw in the rigged article written by Poppin, which you can check out on the heroeslounge.gg website, that these teams, they've got a bit of background to them. So I definitely recommend checking out that blog post for those of you who haven't. But first, before we actually go to the match, we're going to have a roundup of the news. They're not featuring Poppin this time. He couldn't make it, so it's going to be the news starring me and not Aviator. Okay, so what's been going on in Heroes Lounge this week? Well, first of all, if you don't want to know what happened in the Division S Crucible, which took place this weekend, if you're still waiting to watch that on VODs or whatever, turn off the stream for the next 1 minute because we're going to have a quick roundup of that. Go Next have retained their Division S status, but it was a tough Crucible for them. They did fall to the lower bracket after losing 2-0 to Feel the Heat, but they did go on to secure that place in Division S Season 2 by beating Disgusting 2-0. Lounge veterans Memeldor's Meme Machines lost their Division S place after losing to the Newt contenders Pepe Milady in another 2-0 match at the end of the Crucible yesterday. That was a great match to watch, by the way, and I definitely recommend some of you go over to Tetcher's stream, twitch.tv/Tetcher, and check out the VODs of all of the Crucible yesterday. So the brand new teams that have qualified for Division S are Feel the Heat, Kiku Combo, and Pepe Milady, and they'll be joining last season's teams. So to give you the full list of teams, that'll be on screen now. We have Washed Up, Laubers Fan Club, Wind and Rain, Nothing Left, Go Next, Kiku Combo, Feel the Heat, and the aforementioned Pepe Milady. And they will all be starting Division S in a short time. That the new season will be starting soon. TM. In North American Division S, the latest team to qualify was Last Minute Sweep, who won the fourth qualifier by defeating Rewind in a pretty tight series. Back to Amateur Lounge. For those of you who keep an eye on the rigged blogs that Poppin writes every week, definitely check them out. heroeslounge.gg. We have an organized Screaming Baboons versus Protect Your Nexus, which had a very close match, a kind of back and forth series that eventually went 2-1 in favor of Protect Your Nexus. So they are now 2 matches up after only 2 rounds of this season. And newly promoted Division 1 team Gravity is Just a Social Convention battled up against Team Snore. Gravity managed to beat the last season's Legendary Cup champions, Team Snore, in a very closely contested match. Also went 2-1. Check out the replays if you want to on heroeslounge.gg. And that's all for the news. So back to today's match, Aviator. What can we expect in today's goings on?
I think a lot of inting from Team HandsUp, knowing them quite well. No, I'm kidding. Hopefully, just a lot of interesting matchups, really. Looking at drafts and such, I think it'll be interesting considering what both teams tend to draft. I think we may get a spicy pick or two from Team HandsUp, knowing them and casting them in the past. They did pull out a main tank diva at one point, which they actually won with as well. So against my judgment at the time.
Wink face.
but it worked. So, and Team BabyRage, I haven't come across them before, even though they have played in season 8, 10, and 11. And this season they have got a 100% win rate on most of their heroes, all their heroes that they've picked so far, because obviously they haven't lost a map yet. So they have picked Falstad twice, Sylvanas twice, and Sylvanas looks to be a little bit contested since it was picked up by HandsUp as well. So we'll have to see how that works out.
So I understand that we're going to be going to Infernal Shrines for game number 1. Now,
Yep.
could you tell us who's picked that and like what map bands have gone on?
Yeah, HandsUp banned Garden and Sky Temple, and Team BabyMage banned BOE, Battlefield of Eternity, and Tomb of the Spider Queen. So lots of the macro maps definitely being banned by HandsUp there. So wanting a bit more team fighted oriented map by the look of it, rather than opting for anything macro. And BabyMage banning out Tomb of the Spider Queen, probably the most sort of rotational based map there is, I think, at the moment. And Battlefield of Eternity, which is a bit more. I don't know. BOE is a bit of a weird one because there's not much macro, but there is macro involved as well. So, bit of a weird one, that one.
Yeah, so Infernal Shrines traditional. I mean, so Garden and Sky Temple getting banned there by Hands Up, as you say. Like are those the two most banned maps in Heroes Lounge? Do we have any stats on that? I don't think we actually do. But
Where's Stats Corner when you need it?
where is
uh,
Stats Corner? Yeah.
yeah. No, I think Garden for sure. And I think Braxis before it was removed from the pool. Sky Temple is a bit of a weird one. Some teams seem to really, really enjoy the aspect of Sky Temple. I personally don't, but a lot of people tend to.
I mean, I quite like the macro idea of Sky Temple, as you say. Alterac, though, where does Alterac come into it? Because you would think that should feel like Garden of Terror, maybe, or like Sky Temple. It's kind of quite large, quite
Definitely.
macro focused, but teams don't seem to pick it a lot.
No, that is a bit of a weird one actually. Now that you point it out, I do think Alterac is extremely macro heavy, but I hate the map. I hate casting it. I hate playing it. I hate everything about it. It's one of those that you think you can like. You take a keep, you wipe them, and you still can't end because of the way the armor thing works, right? So
Hmm.
that part upsets me a little bit about the game.
Well, I think that's to put in a bit more comeback mechanics, isn't it? Because I mean, isn't that the idea? I mean,
Yeah, but I think just the whole aspect of that to me is just a bit frustrating.
yeah.
That it's like any other map, if you get a team wipe, if you take down a keep, you can end like Infernal Shrines. If you got a keep, or not even a keep, just the wall or something. But on Ultrac, it just seems to go on forever and ever and ever, forever and ever.
Forever and ever. Right. So
Fox and the Hound shout out.
we are we're still waiting for these teams to get set up. So what's your feeling about who the favorite is between Hands Up and Baby Rage? Like, is there a favorite, or are they sort of fairly even pegging?
I think they're fairly even pegging going into this, but I think hands up. Squeaky was telling me earlier that they've been practicing, they've improved, and they're pretty confident going into today's matchup. So who knows what's that going to bring for them?
Yeah. Well, like I say, there was a write-up written by a blog post written about this match, amongst others, in the weekly rigged series that Poppin runs. Um, but actually, before I just talk about this match, I will actually add one thing, which is Makaku's just done a great write-up of another match that happened, Turtle Team versus Killer Koalas. And if you know for those of you who want to sort of get a summary of how that match went down in Division 5 without actually watching it for an hour and a half, there's been a great rate up by Makaku. You can check that out on the heroeslounge.gg blog. So get that on your browser and have a look. It's a great read, and it includes some talk from the teams. But back to what we were saying about Hands Up versus Team Baby Rage. Yeah, I mean, we know that both of these teams played last season.
Mm.
How did they do last season in Division 4?
In Division 4, so HandsUp, I can't get it up quick enough, unfortunately. I did have it open. I
Okay,
think I just closed
it
the
was a
page.
loaded question. I'll tell you that HandsUp finished 10th place.
I closed
Sorry,
the page. I'm
with
so sorry.
with 5, or joint 9th place actually, with 5 wins. Whereas BabyRage got 6 wins, so finished a bit higher up in the table. There's not much difference in it though between 5 wins and 6 wins. So these teams, they look fairly close on paper, and I think you've got to get the feeling that this is going to be a pretty close match today, Aviator.
It definitely seems like it, and so I think it'll just depend on how both teams are feeling, how the draft goes for each team, and we'll just have to go with it and wish each team the best, and hopefully we'll have an interesting series as well. I always like starting off with Infernal Shrines as well because you get to see a different side. You might get one team that's really heavy on team fighting, but the macro aspect of it may not show. So we'll have to see.
We will, and I think we're almost ready. Yes,
I
we are
think so.
ready to go into the draft in game number 1 in this best of 3 series between HandsUp and Team BabyRage. So, Infernal Shrines, what's going to get banned here? We know that Deathwing's still not playable in Heroes Lounge at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
What then might
I
the
think
teams be looking to
I
ban?
think as I said, I think Sylvanas will be a contested pick. Whether she'll be banned out, that's a different question. Falstad also has been picked up twice by the BabyRage. I keep saying Baby Mage. I apologize for that. It's Team BabyRage. But as I said, it's early on in the season, and people could have had role swaps and things based on last season to this season. So you have to see. But last season, BabyRage picked Garrosh 10 times and won 80 times.
80 times? I assume you mean 80%.
80%, yes, you are.
If they picked at 10 and 180, then they've done well. Yeah, so
Thank you for that.
but I mean, Garrosh. So you're saying Garrosh is going to be like fairly highly prioritized. Now, does that mean there's going to be a ban coming out on Garrosh, or will it get through and get first picked early?
I think it should get banned out early. This is Sylvanas I mentioned earlier, that it'll be a contested pick, but with first pick going over to Baby Mage, they do not, Team HandsUp do not want to play into that Sylvanas.
So, so where's the potential for shrine clear in these bans? Like sometimes you see focus on like or shrine fights like Alex Strauss or Kael'thas or Sonya, those kind of shrine focused heroes. They don't seem to have been targeted so far in these bans. Hanzo, there you go. He is known for his shrine clear. So
Absolutely.
that's that ban idea.
Yeah, usually I tend to like Leoric, Sonya, or Blaze for Infernal Shrines from your sort of offlane role.
Well, as you know, I believe in Blaze as a main tank and literally play him non-stop.
I've never heard that before.
Do you know why I love him as a main tank, Aviator? What property does he have that might make him attractive as a main tank?
I don't. Kharis, enlighten me. I've got no
Is that
idea.
he's literally unkillable.
Blaze main tank, everybody, literally unkillable.
Right, but Anna getting banned now. So not banning out that Garrosh.
So I wonder whether you'll see a snap Garrosh first pick. But interestingly, ETC still up, right?
Yeah.
And Johanna as well. So, I mean, ETC and Johanna don't really care about Garrosh. Like, ETC can control Garrosh so well. And there's also Jaina up. So, but there's Johanna. And obviously on Shrines, a very, very good.
So Joanna's just a really strong tank at the moment anyway. And then when you add to that, as you say, the shrine factor, because we were just talking about the shrine clear, that's why the Hanzo's been banned. That's why you might have seen something like a Kael'thas. And there's the Alex Straza focusing on the shrine, but Joanna's so good at clearing those shrines, she might go for the cooldown reduction on level 4 on her condemn, which means on the shrines, you basically always have that W button up. And it can be just so annoying, particularly to an Alex Straza who's trying to find an interval to press her Dragon Queen, and she's just got Joanna doing zip, 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 again and again near her.
Sound effects brought to you by Kharis.
Yeah, well, you didn't even see the visuals because you don't. Aviater, for those of you who don't know, Aviater doesn't have my camera visible, but you will see if you're watching the stream with a delay. So it's great stuff. But the Junkrat and the Gul'dan seem to be the ideas here for Shrine Clear from the two different teams, and they are different ideas. But looking at an Oriole there to back up that Gul'dan.
Yeah, I think Oriole Gul'dan here is really strong. The obviously Alex Straza paints a kind of bullseye on the ground for any sort of mage doing abilities. So early Alex Straza pick, but Alex is so good on this map. I mean that dragon, if you can get it off, as you said, without the sound effects and visuals from Johanna, normally secures you about half the shrine, about 15, 20 shrine guardians. So let's see how that works out for them.
Yeah, so the strategy typically is you get your Shrine Guardians built up to 20 naturally, and then you press the Dragon Queen, and the enemy team kind of has to disengage, and that's the point at which you win that objective. And obviously, if you pop it too early, they can sit back. What we might see. By the way, there's an ETC balance that's juicy. What we might see is these teams thinking about trying to force the Dragon Queen. Sorry, see BabyRage trying to force the Dragon Queen earlier on so that they don't have that Shrine Guardian advantage. By the way, for those of you who don't know, you can still bet for the next minute and a half on the outcome of this first game. Oh, I'm not even going to talk about the betting. You can see it on screen. D.Va main tank, go.
Bet A all.
Immediately somebody has, yeah, exactly. Bet A. Was that you? Oh, it was. Okay.
It was me. Yes. No, I think, as I said, this could still be offlane D.Va though. Actually,
it could. Yeah. It could. I mean, you tell me.
It's not going to be. It's not going to be. I 100% will guarantee you this is a main tank D.Va. But the Uther Vala pickup here. Interesting response here, actually, to that.
Now, here's a thing with D.Va. If you can stun her, if you can kill the mech and then stun her, she gets absolutely destroyed. She's so flimsy. So maybe we'll see Uther kind of putting a bit of pressure on that mech. Or everyone putting a bit of pressure on that mech. When the mech goes down, bang, that's your hammer of justice. That's the end of D.Va. The problem is there's going to be other things going on. Like, you can't commit too many exactly as you predicted. Oh, is that entomb into nerf this?
Oh, into Riptire as well. Hello.
It's a lot of eggs in one skeletal basket, you have to say. And if Lyric can't weave that basket well enough, there's going to be. What are you laughing about? Then if Lyric can't weave that basket well enough, then that could be a real problem for HandsUp.
Potentially, but obviously you've got it could even be Holy Shock Uther here coming out. Is it Holy Shock? Is that the ultimate? No, it's not Holy Shock, is it?
Divine Storm.
Divine Storm, that's the one. It could even be that. Holy Shock's a talent, isn't it? I think.
But I wonder if Divine Shield, you protect someone from the bomb, like just keep someone there in the bomb in the knowledge that you're going to shield them. That could be the way to go.
What I like about this is you've got Gul'dan and Vala, so you've got like two sort of hyper batteries for Oriole. So in theory, if one goes down, and they've still got Gul'dan and Vala, there's still going to be plenty of hope for Team BabyRage.
Yeah, so if there's sort of gradual sustained damage, there's no danger to BabyRage. Absolutely, they've got sustained covered. Yeah. The thing they don't necessarily have covered, however, is the burst or lockdown that comes from that bomb. Let's see how we go though as we go into game number 1 in this best of 3 series. On the left in blue, it's HandsUp with Caesar86 on Junkrat, Squeaky on D.Va, blah 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 on the Greymane, Novariel on the Alex Straza, and Mythsaw on Lyric.
And in the red team for Team BabyRage, we have Vala played by Fleppers, or to be continued. Uther played by Jackin, Gul'dan played by Ramax, Johanna played by Zoaesthetic, and Oriole played by Zomisandai.
So we've got a little factoid from the chat here, which is that the same draft was played by BabyRage in the playoffs of Season 10, but they didn't, instead of the Gul'dan, they had Sylvanas. Of course, Sylvanas got banned early on here in this draft, so that's some knowledge there. The level 1 talents are in, so Valor going full auto attack, it looks like, with the Hot Pursuit. That's going to go nicely to keep that Oriole battery topped up well and truly.
I don't think it's going to be full auto attack. I think it'll be the classic sort of multi-shot on this map.
Oh, for the Shrine Clear, you mean?
Yeah, I think Hot Pursuit's like the go-to talent outside of BOE, and then yeah, I think it'll be multi-shot. I mean, AA into D.Va Leoric, I just don't think it's going to be enough because D.Va's got a lot of mobility. Well, a lot of mobility. She's got some mobility, right? So I don't think the AAs will do anything here.
Yeah, but on the other hand, D.Va does have to be up front doing some work and like taking damage just to charge her bomb, and I think that's why Valor can, you know, continuously keep those auto attacks on her. We'll see how they play it. As you say, may go for the more traditional build, as right now both teams going for their siege camp fairly early, and in fact Junkrat putting a cheeky mine there on the bottom camp so that if BabyRage attempts it, he will be able to contest and of course be aware of it.
Yeah, the only thing with double support Uther is the thing that you're going to lack, particularly after level 4, is that wave clear. So Leoric could move into sort of double soaking mid to top. It's not that common on shrines, but it is common enough. As we do see the camp being started in bot lane though, it's going to be scouted out by the Gul'dan, but I think they're going to give this, and they are. So camp experience going over to the side of HandsUp.
Level 4s are in. And Leoric not picked yet. If he goes Neil Peasants, he probably means he's going, as you say, for that double soak. Although it is also effective on the Shrine Guardians, I believe. So that, you know, Neil Peasants might be the choice either way. Still not picked the talent, slightly late given it's level 5 now. In the meantime, other talents we're looking at is Oriole going for that bigger radius on her sweep. Joanna, of course, going for the Sins Exposed, the traditional way to get a little bit more burst onto a single target. So not going for that more interrupt cooldown.
See, Bruiser camp being picked up for both teams here. Actually, we see response for Team BabyRage. Gul'dan trying to pressure the Junkrat off the wave, but obviously with that experience change, you can just collect the globes.
So, with the Neil Peasants, is Leoric going to be double soaking a lot of this game? It looks like he's going right now to do it. As Mythsaur, oh no, he is coming to this shrine. But look, starting to get a lead here for HandsUp, and this is what we said. BabyRage can't allow HandsUp to get a lead on the shrine because at some point when they get to 20, they're just going to press Dragon Queen and secure it. So BabyRage have to engage very soon if they're going to contest this at all. And they go in immediately, looking for Leoric and delete him. Bomb will zone some members though.
Squeaky falling low there with the Gul'dan, but is able to pop off back into mech form here. As we do see Dragon Queen popping out here, trying to interrupt, but unfortunately missing it. This is a 4v5 fight in favour of Team BabyRage.
Yeah, but Leoric's back up right now. Look how soon Leoric comes back, because of course it's early game, and here's a Leoric. Starts to putting some pressure onto the back line, has to stay away. Romax going to handle that fine enough for now, giving the 2 supports. Valor still going, putting a lot of pressure onto Junkrat, who whips away at 50 HP. Gul'dan! So Greymane secured the Greymane secured there by Gul'dan, and that's 2 kills for nothing there. In fact, 3 technically if you include the Leoric. In favour of BabyRage.
Doing the cheeky play there, just making sure that they secure the Punisher. So the Team BabyRage got the kills, but the Punisher going over to Team HandsUp here.
Yeah, but I can't help but think, what is an early game Punisher, you know, at 4 minutes actually going to do? It hasn't got a tower. It hasn't. I mean, it's done a lot of freezing, but unless, you know, unless he wants to go into the air conditioning business, it's not really that important to make the buildings cold. And so far, it's secured them no structural advantage, and there's a big XP lead now for BabyRage, despite the fact that they lost that Punisher.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a whole level going over to Team BabyRage at the moment. I don't know how these fights are going to work, because the Leoric just got deleted in that fight. As you said, they tried to go for the Leoric and immediately blown out. So you see Squeaky tanking a lot of damage here, but is able to pop off his mech bomb. And that zones them out enough, and they secure the camp.
So, this is, as you say, the way fights might work. Like Leoric, if he ever comes into these fights, he will get deleted, as you point out. But the mech the mech exploding value, like the bomb, is so important because it basically shuts down. Oh, that Junkrat mine puts Joanna to the point. She chooses not to stay there because she doesn't have that greater shield on the Iron Skin, so has to walk away. But very nearly the camp went over. Lyric, by the way, has gone for double soaking generally, and it means that 4 members of HandsUp can basically sit in that bottom lane, whereas BabyRage have to do a kind of 1-1-3 setup because, as you point out, there's no way Uther can double soak like that.
No. If you look at top lane as well, the walls are already gone in that top lane now. That's just because of the lack of overplay from Uther and the push from Leoric in that sense. But we do see level 10s picked up earlier for Team BabyRage here. Good thing is for Team HandsUp, level 10 will be picked up in time for the next Shrine objective, which will be mid. But in terms of ultimates, we do see Divine Storm from the Uther, so no Divine Shield. And no Strafe from Valor either. It's going to be that Reign of Vengeance.
I think with the Divine Storm, they've got to be so careful about who they're getting with it. Like, if they get Leoric with it, they're not really getting any value. Yes, they'll kill Leoric instantly. That's no problem. But the Leoric's not really the threat once he's thrown the Entomb. And, you know, he sort of might as well die. The thing is, they need to be catching Greymane or Alexstrasza with that Divine Storm. And that means Uther has to be in very deep. Thank you, Poppin, who's just resubbed to the Heroes Lounge channel for 12 months. That's great stuff from Poppin. Yeah, so the Divine Storm usage, that could be pivotal here in what decides this game. Yakin's target choices and how deep Uther has to go for that may well prove pivotal.
Yeah, it could have an impact in it, but I'm not sure, because if Uther dies, obviously it procs his trait as well, right? So it's like this sort of the argument. If you've got a hero to die on both teams, you want Leoric to die and you want Uther to die first if you're on that team. So it's one of those.
So you're saying he could just be a sort of kamikaze. He runs in, Divine Storms, and then just dies and starts healing his team. The problem is he may just get split. But the whip onto Leoric, followed by Divine Storm. So they do use it to secure the Leoric kill. But now in comes the bouncy ball from D.Va, followed by the bomb. The Horrify's there. Blah blah blah. Going to go straight down. But can the mech get any value on the other side? Probably not.
Lucy Squeaky being trying to hold up here by Alexstrasza's ultimate as she takes to the sky trying to heal him. The bomb interrupting Condemn there actually, no unstoppable from Johanna. But that is going to be Alexstrasza. There's a lot of ultimates burnt on the side of HandsUp. And all the ultimates burnt on Team BabyRage. Leoric's back up in 3 seconds. I wonder if they can engage. That's great.
Where's he gone though? Where has Leoric gone? Wow. Just destroyed. The damage that comes out from BabyRage is absolutely phenomenal. And, you know, at the start of that fight, they just deleted Leoric. And I said, you know, is it worth Divine Storm to kill Leoric? And you were saying, you know, the same thing. Like, if you want someone to die, it's Leoric. Didn't matter. He didn't really get any value. And they were able to chain those kills and catch the Greymane as well. And they're looking for another Leoric kill. By the way, right now, he's looking at 3 deaths already. So...
yeah. Well, I think D.Va dodging the Reign of Vengeance, but it should fall here, and does to the Valor.
I think she was trying to press the bomb and just got torn to pieces so fast. And this is starting to be a real problem, is just the speed of the damage that comes out from BabyRage. Just the members of HandsUp die so fast, they can't really execute their big wombo combos. You know, we talked about that Entomb into Exploding Mech. They haven't done that yet because they haven't had the chance, because people just get blown up.
Yeah. Team HandsUp getting blown up. It's unfortunate. As I see a lot of damage going onto the Junkrat there. Actually, Caesar 86 taking over half his health there from a combo of Gul'dan and Valor, and they want to secure this bottom fort. Next objective is going to be top, but they really want to get this. We do see Bunny Hop coming out here, and the Riptide coming out. Aegis is available, and Aegis is used. Riptide's killed actually off, and Squeaky's going to fall. No, gets into the mech and survives. Horrified coming out here trying to save the Oriole, but Oriole trying to stay alive and falls. The Alexstrasza close to the skies and is healing up and takes the Johanna down as well. And that's going to be the first kills going over to HandsUp.
That's a lovely little engage there from HandsUp, using the bunny hop as as a really hard engage. Oh, by the way, they're not finished. Flepper's got to be careful. Has to sit back for now. Yeah, so followed by the bomb, and the Aegis was slightly mistimed because I think, if I'm right in saying, no, I'm not right in saying. I was going to say is that the longer self-destruct, but it's not the longer self-destruct. It's just that the Aegis was slightly early, so didn't actually dodge that explosion damage, I believe. But level 16s are in for BabyRage first. They are still ahead in terms of talents and XP. Manticore for Valor, and attack speed here from Oriel will go over to Valor, so she can really tear through anybody at this point with that Manticore and that bonus attack speed from Oriel.
Yeah, absolutely, and yeah, this is a great play by Team BabyRage. But Leoric is coming down here actually, so this is going to be a 5v4. As we see big stuns coming out here, Greymane falling low, but Alex tries to healing. Is he able to keep him up? No, it's not. But the bomb zones him away and does a lot of damage here. But Oriel healing is just so strong in this with this self-sustain comp.
Yeah, Diva's still chasing though. Can she go down? 50 HP, yes. The mech's gone down. Uther's looking to try and catch Divan's Dom was up in 3 more seconds. Yakin wants to find that kill, but Diva sensibly runs away for now. So it's only 1 casualty. But again, with the talent lead, this looks like it should be a head start for BabyRage on this top shrine.
It could be. Greymane having a bit of a tough time, unfortunately, at the moment in the fights. Sort of any engagement, and Greymane's falling. As you see, if you look at damage quickly, you see Valor top with 44k, 30k for Uther, 30k for Gul'dan, but 23k is the top for Team HandsUp, and that's on Diva and Leoric.
Yeah. But that's the thing is, we know that Diva's been doing the most damage because she's the only one who's really able to get stuck in there. Anyone else, if they go in, they get stunned by Uther and they die. Joanna simply pops lands again. This is a lovely engage with a Horrify on top. Diva's got to start going around, uses the bunny hop, trying to put pressure onto Valor. In comes the Riptile. Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines, hide in the Entomb with the Aegis. Can Oriel keep these two DPSs alive? In the meantime, Uther trying to control the Greymane, but he steps away from now, and here's the nerf this.
Yeah, Diva zoned them away there, especially, but the red team is going to just tap and look to re-engage here. Rain of Vengeance, 1 charge will be up in now. So what if they're going to try and get a kill here? Leoric trying to reduce the damage.
Leoric again, 100-0 in a fraction of a second. Mythsword going straight down there. Now the question is, can they contest? Oh, no, not with Greymane dead. The Cleansing Flame comes out just a touch too late. Won't be able to save Greymane. Might be able to save Diva, who will boost herself back towards those towers. But stunned by Uther, going to come out with a mech. Oh no, just a nice little top-up healing Malik Straza.
Yeah, Team HandsUp clearly playing for the late game here, saying we scale. Diva main tank actually does scale there.
Yes, that is true. And Junkrat post 20 might be very nice. And of course, the buried alive threat. Let's not underestimate that. So last fight, Lyric got a nice Entomb onto Val and Gul'dan. There wasn't quite a follow-up there into that Entomb. And so Oriel was able to keep them both alive. But if they're silenced, that will shut down all the damage and, of course, the healing of Oriel. If Leoric can get another great Entomb like that once he gets that 20. But that's a long way away right now, as this Punisher marches on to keep.
Yeah, this keeps actually looking kind of tasty for Team BabyRage here. Mystico keep before 15 minutes is up. Squeaky manages to get the bomb off actually just in time there, so it's going to zone him out.
That was crucial because that allows the space for HandsUp to clear that Punisher, and it will not take a keep, although BabyRage are going to steal this Bruiser camp. Now, I wonder if HandsUp are going to allow this. I think they have to because it's already gone, so they're going to have to give that over. But they want to fight pre-20, which is basically in the next 30 seconds or so. Are HandsUp going to force this?
I mean, it's a long way to 20 for HandsUp, so either they need to fight or they just have to sit back, let the waves crash in, and just try and passively soak level 20.
It looks like BabyRage are going to get to soak that 20, and yeah, then HandsUp are going to sort of stay back a little bit passively. 20s are seconds away, and there they come in for BabyRage. The level 20 talents are Shield of Hope from Oriel, Farflight Quiver from Valor, Redemption from Uther, they're not going for the Hurricane, and Haunt, of course, from Gul'dan, and Indestructible from Joanna. Now, I'm slightly surprised because I sort of think a Storm Shield could save a lot of people from a Diva self-destruct. They want to catch this D.Va right now, in fact, speaking of. But other than that, nothing really surprising in those level 20 talents from BabyRage.
Not at the moment, anyway. But let's see, as they do try and go for this D.Va kill. Blast Shield coming out as well. D.Va trying to stay alive. Divine Storm coming out as well. And Violet ultimate, but Alex Shaza healing. And it's not enough, unfortunately. And she falls down.
Just the damage, again. The damage to... Like, D.Va, first of all, got stun locked 100 nil in the mech. And then when she came out, didn't need any stuns because she just got blown up to smithereens. And again, HandsUp looking in a very tough situation because this Punisher, if BabyRage were to get it, is going straight on that core.
Yeah, this Punisher's game winning, essentially. If this Punisher goes over to Team BabyRage, and they do not, and Team HandsUp do not get team wipe, this is just 100% going to be game.
Can HandsUp get level 20 in time for this next shrine? That's, I suppose, the pivotal question right now.
I don't think they can. I think they'll be level 19 and a half as the shrine is spawning, forcing them to decide what they want to do. As you see, Greymane might be caught out here. Unstoppable being popped by Johanna here and Zeus a stun, and that's going to be a dead Greymane. That's a staggered death.
Yeah, that's a disaster here. 60 seconds. He probably will be up for the shrine. Oh, but if D.Va goes down as well, this will be very rough. She's gone down. Can she get away with her life? And there's no mech available for sure. Oh, just about survives, but right now, this is a tough situation. Leoric has died as well. He can probably get back up in time for the shrine, or just about. But our BabyRage going all the way.
Yeah, they were caught here. 30 seconds on Greymane, 40 seconds on Leoric. With that Valor Gul'dan just shredding on the core, if you look at that. Already dropping down to 70%, 60%. With the catapults coming in as well, and that's going to be D.Va falling down. Riptide coming out, just trying to zone them out, but it's not going to be enough, and that's going to be GG going over to Team BabyRage.
GG, well played, BabyRage. Game number 1 goes to them. And what a performance. Like,
yeah, kind of decisive fashion, you'd say, right?
Yeah, I mean, they looked fairly confident in most of those fights. I got the feeling HandsUp had an idea, but they just couldn't quite execute it, partly because Uther, Joanna, and Oriel put out so many stuns. Oh, and Vala as well. And so that's really good coordination from the Division 4 team of BabyRage to coordinate their lockdown so effectively on those single targets.
Yep. As look at damage quickly, you see Vala on 76,666. A lot of sixes in that, some would say. But clearly top of the charts. And if you look at the highest damage for the blue team for HandsUp was 51k in Junkrat, which is second in the game. But then you're talking D.Va, Leoric, with Greymane only on 23,000. So Greymane really struggled to put out any sort of damage in those team fights.
Yeah, and it's hard to say why exactly that was. I think partly because Greymane was under kill pressure a lot of the time, but also, yeah, it was just Leoric being dead. Oh, that's a loud noise. Sorry about that. Leoric being dead as well very early in the fights. Like, Leoric would go up, just get blown up, and then it's kind of like, what can HandsUp do? Obviously, Leoric's there looking for the Entomb so that he can set up the Junkrat and the D.Va to get some value, but it didn't quite work out for them. So, yeah. A 1-0 lead for BabyRage. Can HandsUp pull this back in game number 2?
Yeah, I think so. I think they just need to draft differently, play rotations perhaps differently, as we do have our second map, which is going to be Dragonshire, picked by Team BabyRage.
Dragonshire picked by BabyRage. So, what's I mean, that's for me. That means so. Obviously, that means HandsUp wanted first pick because they had the choice.
Yeah.
Like, what does that tell you about the way HandsUp are going to play this game number 2?
I think they're going to have to play a little bit more aggressive. They tried it early game in that, but from the first shrine, it was just kind of snowballing kills and kills and kills for Team BabyRage. I don't think we'll see D.Va main tank again. But Dragonshire does revolve a lot around the solo lane, and wave clear, obviously, in that top lane is so important. So I don't think we'll see an Uther solo lane or a sort of double support solo lane coming out for Team BabyRage here. So I think the draft is going to be completely different to game 1. So who knows? I think ban-wise, whether you opt to ban the Valor or pick it up yourself. Obviously, the Valor was extremely impactful in game number 1 there, I think.
Yeah, I think, but that's partly because of that 2 support comp. Like 2 supports, Valor goes down. I mean, it's just textbook, isn't it? There's nothing too spicy. Okay, you might say Uther's offlane is a bit spicy, and he did struggle with that wave clear, and Leoric did outpush him, did outsoak him. But in the fights, Uther was so much more impactful than Leoric. So I think here on this map, you can't do Uther solo lane in the same way, maybe because you need to be able to soak and hold the point and stuff. So maybe we'll see a prioritization of Rexar or Malthael or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Chen's sort of fallen off slightly, but I still think he's extremely strong. I think Rexar at the moment on this map in particular is so strong, particularly with the experience reworks.
Yeah.
Obviously, where you've got to actually collect. You can't just say, sort of zone out of experience or safely, passively soak experience. You've got to get up in there and capture those globes. But game number 2, Dragonshire.
Dragonshire, in we go. Okay, so it's game number 2. What is going to happen here in this draft? Obviously, it is still Dragonshire. As you say, they've got to prioritize that solo lane a bit more, maybe. How do they go about that in terms of bans?
There's the Garish ban. I'm not wanting to play against Garish here. I don't know if we'll see too different of a bans besides, obviously, if Rexar gets through the draft, through the first rotation, I'll be a little bit surprised. But maybe both teams don't play Rexar, obviously. That could be a factor in this as well.
Yeah,
but
that could be.
in the first map, we saw Alarak being banned out by Team BabyRage. But no, there's the Rexar ban.
Okay, so I assume they just don't want to play against that because of the control of that solo lane. I wonder what else they're going to ban. Like Joanna could be a ban here. Like start tank choking. First pick's available for HandsUp. What if they ban that Joanna? Go for the ETC. That could be a pretty solid way to play here for HandsUp. Maybe they're going to do that as they've gone for the ban on Aviater, which on Dragonshire is slightly surprising to me. Have you got any thoughts on the Aviater ban?
I actually believe in Aviater on Dragonshire. I think Aviater gives you sort of 1.5 top lane, and as long as you draft really, really strong 3-man in the bot to mid and rotate proactively, I think Aviater can net you so much value on this map. But I think the only difference to this map between like Curse Hollow or something is obviously you've got Shrine control, so globals usually come into it as well. This can be the Alarak, so Tahako's available, Falstad available, etc. And there's the insta-lock Johanna. No hesitation there from Squeaky.
Yeah, we know that Joanna is an important tank. Probably one of the strongest tanks around. Great wave clear for that 4-man rotation if they go bottom mid. So nothing too surprising there for that first pick. And by the way, just so for viewers who've just tuned in, you can bet on who will win this next game by typing !bet A and a number of points for HandsUp, !bet B and a number of points for Team BabyRage, as Chen is picked up for the latter.
Yeah, so early prioritization on Chen for that top lane. And we do see Falstad being picked up here. Falstad I love on this map in particular.
Yes.
I think you can stick Falstad mid, you can passively soak, try and freeze it perhaps. You usually can't freeze mid lane, or you shouldn't be able to freeze it with rotations from bot to mid.
Mouth and Sylve.
That's a strong opening draft from Team HandsUp here.
Yeah, the Mouth just a good all-round healer, and I think he's going to give them very good sustain if there's no kind of hard engages. Because bear in mind, there's going to be a lot of 4v4ing. That's the kind of stuff he can cover well. Although it does, of course, give him fewer Moonfire targets to get burst heals from.
Yeah, that's potentially the only thing. Is if Team BabyRage sort of drafts some mobile mage something, perhaps Li Ming, something like that, and obviously it may be difficult to get the Moonfires off to self-heal in these fights. But there's something to tank. ETC still available as well, so you'd expect ETC being picked up, or Mal'Ganis, obviously really strong at the moment.
Yeah, Mal'Ganis, although is he played in the lower divisions? I've not kept an eye on this, but what the actual stats are on Mal'Ganis so far this season, because it's still early days, so we don't have any stats yet to show on screen from Stats Corner. But Mal'Ganis, he's certainly prioritized at the top level. Is he still prioritized, say, in Division 4?
Anna checking in.
I don't know, but there's an Anna Gul'dan, so that's going to be a nano boosted Gul'dan raining down, not destruction, raining down spells.
Raining down horror, let's say.
Team HandsUp.
Yeah. So
we still need an offlane, something that can beat Chen. So you've got Imperius, I think beats Chen, but obviously you lack a little bit of wave clear with the Imperius pick. Rexel's banned out. And it's going to be Yrel, the goat, comes out.
Yeah,
I like the Hanzo pickup.
I agree with the Hanzo pickup. I think that's first solid. How's Yrel going to do against Chen? What's the typical way that plays out in the solo lane?
I think Yrel can actually beat Chen. I think Yrel beats Chen, but it's like, I think it's one of those matchups where if the Chen sort of smurfs it, then obviously the Chen can take it. But I think equally matched, I think Yrel beats Chen.
Okay, I mean, and the other thing is Yrel has faster rotations, right? So there's a chance that Yrel can double soak, and Chen might struggle with that. So
I don't think we'll see double soaking on this map though, especially with the Falsa global aspect. I think the global here is so strong that you can play around mid top or mid bot. I think double soaking would be a mistake, because that means that they're probably never going to be able to reclaim top.
Okay, so I mean, I think there's a lot going on in this draft. There's still 2 minutes left to get in your bets, probably a minute and a half by the time you hear this. You know the way. Check out what others have done to bets if you're new to it. If you don't know how many points you got, type exclamation mark points, and you can get points just by following, which you should do anyway, because we have every Monday here. We have Mega Matchup Mondays, Mega Monday Matchup on Heroes Lounge channel every Monday at 20 CET. Let's go into game number 2 in this best between HandsUp and BabyRage. And on the left, in blue, it is HandsUp with Squeaky on Joanna. We have Novariel on Malfurion, Caesar86 on Sylvanas, blah 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 on Hanzo, and Mythor on Yrel.
So we have Gul'dan played by Ramax, Chen played by Jackin, Falsa played by Fleps or Fleppers, we're yet to decide, I think it's Fleps, Muradin played by Zoaesthetic, and Anna played by Zomisande.
Teams going in straight away for the big 5v5 mid lane brawl. Joanna, again, loving that Laws of Hope, not the reduced iron skin cooldown.
I'm inclined to agree.
Oh, by the way, sorry to interrupt, but the blows are being traded here. As Squeaky goes in, uses the iron skin to sit back. But a lot of damage traded from both teams here, and actually Muradin took the bulk of it for the red team, so he'll just second win that up safely, as the blue team has started their rotations. But Aesthetic already trying to get those Stormbolt stacks up and running, but has he put himself in danger for it?
Muradin's got no jump, yeah, Muradin got no jump, but Sylvanas opting for that more sort of QAA build, so tends to be a little bit weaker in the early game, but late game tends to scale really well.
Yeah, so both teams had a good skirmish here. Muradin, by the way, didn't go for the perfect Storm level one, went for the third wind. So the Stormbolt stacks only really for that baseline quest. Need that to get those reduced cooldowns on the Stormbolts up and running though. I
like this play though from HandsUp here, sorry to interrupt you, but they are going to take the revolve early around their bruiser camp, obviously with that Sylvanas trade being able to disable the camp, and immediately try to take this up whilst the other team takes up their siege camp. So the red team will think that they're on their siege camp. Muradin will probably scout it out in a moment, but the bruiser camp's been taken. And you'd like to sort of see maybe a rotation top from Sylvanas as well, just to try and push top.
Yeah, in the meantime though, Sylvanas seems to be trading blows with Falstad. Now, Falstad could rotate top and help clear that fairly easily, I should think. And these giants bottom lane are not getting so much value. So the camp so far more for XP than for the pushing potential, and it seems like so far BabyRage have control of the shrines, but only for a little bit, as Irel decaps the top.
Yep. As I said, I think Urel into Chen is absolutely fine for Urel. And we do see that Sylvanas going top, actually. What should we pick up before? So no Merqueen, opting for unstable poison, which I kind of like here. Falstad playing a little bit aggressively here. Urel trying to save Interrupt. No, not going to be able to get it. Trying to fight in that spell armor though, making sure that Falstad can't get too much value.
Yeah.
I like this person from top. That is going to be one tower taken. Blue team able to take bot, but obviously Falstad and Chen still top, able to secure that. So no 3-point shrine active.
So it's a tower top for a tower bottom. But each camp got one tower of value, and fairly neck and neck on the experience so far. Both these teams playing fairly cautiously, looking fairly solid. As Joanna goes in, looks to try and catch Gul'dan. Lovely roots from Malfurion. Ravax, can you survive?
Oh, but the sleep dart! Oh, the sleep dart was so clutch there by Zomis Ande. Almost saving the Gul'dan, but no. Novaria, Caesar 86 making sure he...
Oh, the rotation! Chen was baiting Irel into that fight to the top lane, and Chen got low, Irel got low, and Falstad flew up and secured that kill to secure the top control. The problem is now Sylvanas is pushing with those giants on the bottom lane. Already the bottom tower is going to take a heavy pounding. Probably that's going to go down shortly, and the top tower is probably going to be next.
Yeah, that's what I mean by, that's what I said is so strong about globals on this map, is that particularly Falstad, Dahaka's a bit different obviously because Dahaka sits top and can global bot or global mid or something like that, but the Falstad literally has so much sort of maneuverability and rotation. Just it's free. He can go top, he can go bot, soak the mid lane as well. It's a brilliant draft here.
It's free real estate as Sylvanas rotates top to try and help Irel pressure that Chen. Now Irel's not been struggling really against Chen, but the problem Irel has now is the fear of Falstad. So Irel can't really commit onto Chen, and Chen knows that and will play around it probably as Sylvanas comes to help Irel put pressure on those towers and just gradually grind the Chen back rather than looking to kill him in any way. Falstad. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, Falstad.
I was just about to say Falstad's bribe stack's currently 51 on the counter, so 60 will give him 3, 80 will give him 4. So he could bribe his own siege camp right now, but I think he's saving up for the bruiser camp by the looks of things. Oh, yeah. As bottom lane is also experiencing a trade of blows. Mirrodin versus Squeaky. Oh, Aesthetic gotta start dancing around, but does have that second win. That's the thing is...
Gul'dan falling extremely low here though. The Anadart comes out and that's not enough to save him. Gul'dan actually falls.
Yeah, I mean, slightly far forwards from Gul'dan. Like, Mirrodin was intentionally standing very far forwards to soak a lot of damage in the knowledge that Third Wind will heal it all back pretty safely. But Gul'dan, of course, a bit more vulnerable than a Mirrodin, and took a bit of punishment for that, as this is a nice invade here by HandsUp, and maybe they're going to steal this camp, but Fleppers doesn't want to allow it. The problem is, Fleppers is on his own.
He needs to allow it. Maybe he doesn't want to, but he needs to. And Fleppers makes the right call and ease away from safety. Doesn't use his E for engage. I like that.
I think what Fleppers was trying to do, if I can guess, thank you Fallop for resubbing to the Heroes Lounge channel. If I can guess, what Fleppers was trying to do is put sufficient pressure on that camp to try and slow down the taking of it by HandsUp.
Oh. Hanzo almost getting the kill with the Sonic Arrow, but Fleppers sort of sensing it and just immediately ease out.
Yarrow and the mind control onto Mirrodin. Can Mirrodin get away? The Blessed Shield, 500 HP. Is the Condemned there? No. And the Anheals are, but Gul'dan.
The root on the Gul'dan, can they get the Gul'dan kill instead? And they do. Aiming for the Mirrodin, but Gul'dan says, I'll take the hit for you, Mirrodin.
As any good tank Gul'dan should do. Gul'tank. Gul'dank.
Gul'dank.
Gul'tank. Gul'dank?
Good tank. Good tank.
Good
anyway,
tank.
Back to the game.
Back to the game. Fleppers did bribe 3 in this bruiser camp and secure the last one by hand. That bruiser camp will start rolling in the top lane, give Chen a bit more pressure to help out against that Irel. But
we do see rotation from Hanzo top. Ultimates are picked up now. Chen immediately popping the 3. Can they get an interrupt? No, they don't have anything available. And Irel falling a little bit low here. Chen might end up getting the the 1v2 kill, or the 3v2 kill, technically.
But the cheeky mount. Oh, and in the meantime, Sylvanas got picked in the mid, and Mouth might be next as Mirrodin jumps in deep to try and secure that kill and does so successfully. So 2 kills picked up there while Chen created that space in the top lane. And Chen's still going. Chen's still going. Blah, blah, blah dies ultimately to the Chen fire. Beautiful play from Yakin on the Chen, dominating that solo lane, showing why Chen is still a force to be feared and reckoned with. And with that, it should be a Dragon Knight, the first one of the game, going over to BabyRage.
Oh, so you see one interrupt though from Squeaky here, but yeah, as you say, that should be the Dragon Knight, and they should give it, and they do. Also, just to clarify, thank you Penelope Games for donating the sub to Fallop.
Ah, I don't get that information on my screen. I just see Fallop 3 sub. Yeah, okay. So thank you, Penelope.
Fallop getting all the credit there, but it wasn't deserved.
So, yes, thank you. And this Dragon Knight is going to start marching bottom. They've already got the towers here. Kick the hands out. I'm not sure that was such a good idea. Maybe they could have put kill pressure on him and maybe kicked Sylvanas or Joanna, who are looking a bit more healthy instead. But
this Dragon Knight is being shredded by the damage from Sylvanas and Hanzo here, though.
Yeah, wow, they are tearing it to pieces. And I don't know what to say. There's not much that BabyRage could do. Falsta's trying to soak the mid and put pressure there.
There's an Avatar being popped here by Mirrodin. They want to go in here. I'm not sure that's the play. The minion wave is pretty much almost dead here. So
Joanna does not have Iron Skin, so if they get a good Horrify or Stormbolt on her, they could, but they haven't gone for it. Instead, they've chosen to back off and secure camps on both teams.
Caesar's just playing in the Triangle of Death, the Bermuda Triangle. There, just trying to hide out from vision. But they just see an invade here from HandsUp.
Mirrodin jumps in
here, though. HandsUp arrow comes out here, and Soppel being popped by Johanna. Gas comes out with the mind control, and the Gul'dan with the nano boost, and the silence arrow. Is it enough? And Gul'dan falls, and Mirrodin has to jump away to safety, and that's the camp and the kill going over to HandsUp.
Beautiful play from HandsUp. Slightly slow on taking the camp by BabyRage. They hesitated a bit too long. Oh, as Mirrodin comes in just to keep Sylvanas from disabling that fort, but he can't hold off 4 of them at once. And I think this fort will ultimately go down.
Yeah, this fall's going to fall. I mean, look at the wave coming in with the 2 siege giants as well, and the other 2 tops. That's 4 siege giants. So back out now. Take the bottom camp here. If your hands up, they can see. Yeah, and here we go. Straight away to take that bottom camp. Just paint the map blue, as it were. Make the red team. What's the expression you like to use, Kharis?
I don't know.
Are they chasing their tail?
I've got no idea what you're talking about, but
Is that what you say, playing football?
don't let the red team play football. I don't know. Anyway, both teams level 13. Mirrodin going for the healing static because he went for Thunderburn at level 4 as well. So that Mirrodin, once he pops his avatar, he's going to be very tanky. Not going for the maybe more common nowadays Burning Rage. But I guess the idea is Aesthetic just really wants to survive a ton of burst damage as Fleppers sensibly barrels away from danger.
Yeah, as you see, Chen possibly overstepping, but obviously he's Chen with that panda mobility.
Yeah, he has his Boogie Wonderland available. Doesn't want to use it unnecessarily though, and I think that's what the rotation gank ideas are from Irel and Hanzo. Is that they're trying to... Oh, hang on, is this a gank attempt on Joanna? She timed the Iron Skin so perfectly, and in comes the Hanzo arrow
coming out here with the Bless Shield follow-up here onto the Mirrodin with the root. That's no jump now. Mind control on top of it. Gust away trying to peel. Avatar comes out, and Mirrodin should live here.
Beautiful, beautiful Gust, because that would have been the end of Mirrodin for sure if that wasn't a Gust then. Oh, and the jump now to safety. So a great escape there from Mirrodin with the help of Falstad and Anna. After what looked like a lovely engage onto Mirrodin, because as you say, that root interrupted Mirrodin's dwarf toss. So he was going to die if he wasn't saved.
Yeah, absolutely. But we do see camps being taken by both teams in the top lane now. So the fort not taking any damage yet as Chen clears it, but there is going to be the well down for Chen. So it's going to be advantageous for the URL.
16s are now in though for HandsUp, and Mind Control is up now, so they could try to force a fight here, but Sylvanas rotating top wants to just clear that wave rather than going for any Chen gank idea, knowing as they do that he has that Boogie Wonderland available to get himself to safety. Fleppers will go down and try and 1v2, but I think that might not end so well. But Muradin and Anna here. The cavalry have arrived. Can they punish Navariel for chasing? The HandsUp arrow provides a little bit of space for Malf for now. The Twilight is up. Can he do anything with it? Hits the Muradin and the Gul'dan, but he's already down. It's too little, too late.
Coming out as well. Microsoft going out onto the Gul'dan though. Sylvanas comes down, but the Gust again. And there's the Boogie Wonderland coming out here. Lands the route onto Sylvanas and Caesar 86 trying to make it his escape, but falls.
And now Chen's, what can these Chens do? Can they get any more? Falstad flies top immediately to secure that top beacon. It looks like Chen's going to go for that Dragon Knight. Irel rotating top as fast as she can, but I don't think Mythsaur will be in time. This Dragon Knight should be going over right now to Team BabyRage.
Absolutely. What Chen you do in these sort of scenarios?
What can you do indeed? You can't really change what's going to happen in that situation.
Absolutely not.
Now, the Dragon Knight is going mid, going to put a bit of pressure onto the fort, and probably take the fort pretty comfortably. Will they march onto the keep with it though? It looks like they're just waiting to regroup or go for the bottom fort.
I like this. I like taking the mid fort. I think taking the mid fort is so undervalued because it really opens up that sort of control and the vision aspect of Dragon Chariot as well.
Yeah, it means you can never safely poke the mid capture point. You know, because you have to go away a long way from a structure. As the Dragon Knight goes in, maybe they're going to put pressure onto Self here. She's taken a big corruption and a flame from the Dragon. Muradin goes in, tries to find the Stormbolt. Navariel dodges sensibly. Keep running, Malfurion. You know Twilight for 4 seconds. Tries to get to the towers, gets kicked away to safety. Dragon Knight just trying to put a bit of pressure. The fear onto Hanzo, and he's been torn to pieces.
Yeah, see Bless Shield being popped, trying to just peel for this team. Squeaky still being in there as the triple Anna healing dart comes out just to save the Muradin. And brilliant play here by both teams. It's a much closer game than game number 1.
Yeah, this is, well, we predicted this would be a close series at the start because both of these teams did around the same in the game in the last season, in season 10 of Heroes Lounge. Now with Hanzo dead and 2 fort advantage, I've done my classic saying 2 forts when it's not. It's 1 fort advantage for Team BabyRage. They should be able to edge a little bit in that XP race to 20, but I don't think they can get anything more in terms of solid objective.
Sorry to interrupt you there. Falstad forced to use the Gust top. There's Urel pressured, so that's going to be Gust down for another 50 seconds. That's important to remember that.
Is that the interval to fight then for HandsUp? Because we know that Gust has been a good response to the mind control, a good response to that lockdown engage. Is this the moment where Sylvanas goes in, looks for a mind control, or Joanna finds the Blessed Shield for the roots, and they say we're going to fight? The problem is the Chen ult, which is perhaps even more impactful, is up. And they're looking for the Irel right now, not waiting for 20. They want to catch Mythsaur right now while she doesn't have her ult. As Joanna goes in, tries to space create.
Hans arrow lands onto the Anna though. Squeaky is going in with Unstoppable. Urel doesn't have her ultimate for 20 seconds, so you need to be careful. Bless you.
Mind control and the Twilight.
Can they kill the Chen before the stacker finishes? And they do! They get the kill. Chen unable to pop his ultimate with that brilliant sequence of combination of ultimates being popped there.
I love the lockdown coordination that we're seeing from these teams. Both of these Division 4 teams, like last game we saw great lockdown coordination from BabyRage. This game is coming out from HandsUp. That the mind control into the Twilight, into the condemned stun, all chained there onto Chen to stop him from getting his Storm Earth and Fire off, and that allowed the kill. Level 20 now, neck and neck for both teams. It's going to appear for both teams in a few seconds. As Joanna, very exposed, Iron Skin about to fall. Sylvanas comes up, tries to space create a little bit. Not much she can do except maybe throw a mind control. The Storm Shield from Joanna will save her for now.
Yeah, Blinded by the Light instantly being snapped up there by Squeaky, saving her. As we do see level 20s for both teams now, which is going to be Rewind for Muradin, that Wind Tunnel for Falstad. So if he gets a big gust off into a sort of choke corridor anywhere in these grassy verges, that's going to be a different fight. If you see Hands Arrow going out onto the Anna, but it's a bit far away. Sonic Arrow unfortunately missing with that bullseye.
Yeah, Muradin's going very locked down. Does manage to survive though because of that massive self-healing he's got. And Malfurion's been destroyed by Chen. And now Chen comes out, the Boogie Wonderland starts to chase Hanzo's already down. The squeaky wheel gets the oil and down it goes. And there's the wind tunnel. It's absolutely savage into the corner for Irel and Sylvanas. Sylvanas can escape. Irel bubble hearthing just to tease the enemy team. That's what we might like to see here, ladies and gentlemen. The bubble hearth from Irel, but it will be a Dragon Knight going over to BabyRage. Oh my days, what a fight there from BabyRage, as Aviator was also a casualty of this fight. He might be medically dead as the Dragon Knight marches on that bottom lane with 3 members still on the deck for hands up, and they're going to struggle to defend this push. So Aviators will be back with us shortly as they march in. We can lack those level 20 talents. As we talked about, it is blinded by the light from Joanna, trying to save her teammates. Wasn't able to save Malfurion in time last time. Malfurion going for the life bloom, the extra healing there on the regrowth. The wind tunnel we saw have impact, and now Irel going to be next to fall. No bubble hearth available this time.
Bubble hearth available this time. As we do see the Dragon Knight marching onto the core, the wind tunnel trying to zone them out here. Shield falling down on the course, down to 90%, 80%. This looks like game. Can Hands Up defend this? Is this clownable? That's what you need to ask yourself. 30%, 20%. And no, and that's going to be GG and the series going over to Team BabyRage.
Phenomenal performance from them, but I mean, credit where credit's due. Hands Up did very well for 90% of that game. It was just the final fight that looked so spot on. From that initial engage, and Malfurion got torn to pieces by BabyRage.
Got value.
Bubble Hearth did get value. In particular, it killed you.
It definitely killed me. I just didn't expect it. Okay, you never expect to see Bubble Hearth. You just look at your screen, you're like, "Oh, it's a dead Urel." Sylvanas escapes, leaves Urel. No, Bubble Hearth. Oh,
well,
you hate to see it.
It was. It was juicy. It was juicy from both of these teams, and like I say, Hands Up looked so in charge for so much of that game, and then the Chen threat, always the Chen threat. You got Stormbolt on Muradin and Chen. Sorry, Stormbolt onto Malfurion, and Chen followed up, bang, and great coordination, great blow up from BabyRage. Having struggled a little bit with some of the push pressure that Hands Up were providing, some of that coordinated lockdown that Hands Up were providing, ultimately they won where it counted in a late game team fight, and that secured them the game and indeed the series.
Absolutely, I think Hands Up, when they watch the VOD, I know they will. I think they'll easily see perhaps where some rotations went wrong, perhaps where they got caught out with the Sylvanas and Malfurion died mid, and I think that led to the first Dragon Knight of the game. And obviously, just that global as well from Falstad, where Urel got baited into the Chen 1v1 matchup, and obviously the Falstad flew top and secured that kill for them. So it was a really good showing from Hands Up there, particularly considering the first game. The second game was much closer, particularly as what we expected it to be. But overall, it was a really good series from both teams.
Yeah, and I have to say I'm impressed by the quality of both these teams. Just the particular, like we talked about again and again, the lockdown that they were getting on a single target, and you don't see mind control every day from a Sylvanas, but I think they used it to good effect in two ways. One, we talked about that big Chen kill that they got where they chained the CC on him and stopped him from using his ult. But the other way was every time Gul'dan got nano boosted in the game, he got mind controlled, and of course, when you're mind controlled, you can't cast spells and you can't get value from that nano boost. So that was also really important in toning down that nano boost Gul'dan value. And indeed, by the way, it was not Gul'dan who got top hero damage in this game. It was Chen. It was Chen, yeah.
Was it which Chen? Boogie Wonderland? Well, for those of you who don't know, by the way, not you should know this, but Boogie Wonderland was it's a famous song by Earth, Wind and Fire, which is obviously the Chen ultimate, which is why Kharis calls it Boogie Wonderland. Just to translate for all you people wondering why Kharis always calls it Boogie Wonderland.
There you go. Now you know. The more you know, the more you know.
The more knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power. Well, I think that's all we've got time for today. We are not getting another match. Sorry, Fallop. Maybe we should have, because this one was fairly short, but we haven't. We haven't got another match scheduled. But I believe there is still a cast by Heroes at School and the Epic E going over on going on over on Heroes at School's channel, twitch.tv/Heroes at School, which we'll raid you over to in just a second, and that is Team Snore versus Rip Hot BlizzCon 2K19, which is a fantastic name.
It's a great, great name by the team there.
A fantastic name for a team. Well, I mean, so are HandsUp and BabyRage. There's a lot of great. I forgot to tell you about the most important result, actually, by the way, on the topic of names. The most important result when the news earlier wasn't covered, but in the big match between twitch.tv/Caldor and Johnny Sins Butt Buddies.
Oh, they fought last season as well, I think, actually.
And Johnny Sins won 2-0 against Caldor.
Shout out the Stukov solo lane.
So, you can look up the replay for that on heroeslounge.gg.
Johnny Sins Butt Buddies have a solo lane player that plays Stukov solo lane. And it works. I'm just saying. Despite what you think, despite everything, he'll play it on Dragonshire, on Braxis, on any map where you need a strong solo laner, he will pick Stukov. So it's not just like on like a Uther where you pick it on Volskaya or Infernal Shrines where you don't really need that wave clear. So shout out Johnny Sins Butt Buddies.
Indeed. Right. That's all we've got time for. Like we said, we're going to throw you over to Heroes at School, another great Heroes Lounge caster. We're coordinating with the Epic E today, so they've got a duo cast. We'll send you over there. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Follow, of course, the channel because we have more Heroes Lounge Mega Monday matchups every week, except over the Christmas period. So we're not back next week. We're going to be on a break. But we'll definitely be back in, I think, the new year. So we might be back on the 30th. I'm not sure yet. But follow the channel and you'll always get notifications, or get in the Heroes Lounge Discord where I will spam pings. So, definitely keep an eye on all of that. And of course, heroeslounge.gg/calendar for more information on all the other casters we have going on a range of other channels for Heroes Lounge. But from us, it's good night. So, Aviator, any final thoughts?
No, just unfortunately 2-0 series to Team BabyRage. I think that series could have gone to a 1-1 and we could have had a decider there. Hands up unlucky. Good showing. Obviously learn from it and come back next time. Make sure you qualify for playoffs and maybe get revenge.
Good thoughts. And thank you everyone for watching and good night.
Good night.